Hello, Year 3, and thank you for joining today for our maths lesson. Let me share our screen so we can get started straight away. So for our starter today, there are some questions for us to complete on the board. The first one says, circle the multiples of 5. I know a multiple of 5 is anything in that times table. So which of those numbers are in the 5 times table? Next question, here are 15 cubes. How many groups of 3 are they? They're very kindly arranged into groups of 3, so you should be able to count those groups yourself. And here is an array. How many groups of 4 are there? So how many groups of 4 can you make? As always, pause the video there, have a go at those questions, and we'll come back together in just a moment. So let's look at those answers together. The multiples of 5. Now I know, quick tip for you, multiples of 5, they all end in a 5 or a 0 in the ones column. So 35 is a multiple of 5, that ends in a 5 in the ones column. 40 is a multiple of 5, it has a 0 in the ones column. 95 is a multiple of 5, it has a 5 in the ones column. And 70 is a multiple of 5, it has a 0 in the ones column. Here are 15 cubes. How many groups of 3 are they? Let's quickly have a look. There's one group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, 4 groups of 3, and 5 groups of 3 in total. And lastly, here is an array. How many groups of 4 can you make? So let me circle the groups of 4. There's one group of 4. There's another group of 4. And there's the last group of 4. I can see there's 1, 2, 3 groups of 4. Well done if you managed to get those. Now, we're going to continue with division today, but we're going to look at dividing, and there's going to be some remainders. Now, we have remainders when we can't divide things equally, so we have to have something left over. Now, let's look through an example to make that a bit clearer. So, Alex has 11 flowers. Here are those 11 flowers. We can all see them along the screen. If he shares them between 2 pots, how many will there be in each pot? So let me show you. If I drag one there, another one here, another one there, another one here, another one there. There's 3 each at the moment. Another one there, another one there. There's 4 each. One more in this pot, one more in this pot. There's 5 each. I've got this one spare. If I put it here, there's 6 in this pot, but only 5 in this pot. And if I move it over here, there'd be 6 in this pot, and now only 5 in this pot. So we have to leave that one spare. That is our remainder. It means it's left over. It remains behind. So our answer is 11 divided by 2 is equal 5 remainder 1. We have a remainder of 1 because there's 1 left over, and that still ensures our groups are equal. Now let's have a look at this one together as well. Now I know the answer is already at the bottom of the screen for you. We can see that, but we can still prove the answer is what it says. So we should be getting 11 divided by 3 is 3 remainder 2. So there should be 3 in each pot with 2 left over. But let's see if we can prove that's correct. So there are now 3 pots. How many each pot? Again, I've got 11 flowers here. So I'm going to put 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. There's 1 in each pot. 1, 2, 3. There's another 1 in each pot, or 2 in each pot. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 in each pot. If I put this one here and this one here, there'd be 4 in these pots, but only 3 in this. So that's not fair. If I move them around, there's 4 in this pot, 4 in this pot. There's still only 3 in those pots. So I've got to take those 2 away. So there is 3 in each pot, and I have 2 left over. I can't share those 2 because if I put them into the pots, it won't be equal anymore. So 11 divided by 3 is equal to 3 because there's 3 in each pot with a remainder of 2. And we can see that remainder of 2 just there. Oh, I skipped forward too far there. Let's go back. Now, again, I've given you the answer because I want us to prove that answer. So again, we have 11 flowers. And now there are, I should say, now there are 4 pots. How many will there be in each pot this time? Now, the answer should be 2 remainder 3. So let's have a look at that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1 in each pot. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 2 in each pot. But I've got 3 left over. If I try to share them, 1, 2, 3, each of those pots has 3 flowers, but this one only has 2. If I try and move them around, I can't make it fair. So I'm going to bring those 3 flowers back. So there's only 2 in each pot. And that is equal, which means 11 split into 4, or 11 divided by 4, is equal to 2 remainder 3. There are 2 flowers in each pot and 3 left over to continue making sure it is fair. I'm going to move you on to a challenge with some similar numbers. The first one is 13 divided by 3. So imagine you have 13 flowers or 13 sweets or whatever it might be. You've got to share those between 3 groups. So if I were you, I would draw 3 circles, just like I'm doing on the board, and share 13 divided by 3. Now remember, we're focusing on remainders today, so it's likely there's going to be something left over. So remember, you've got to make sure your groups are equal and that anything that would make it unequal is left out as a remainder. I've shown you how you can start that first one. I'm going to pause there, or get you to pause the video there. See if you can work through that question. See if you can work through the other ones that are available there too. And we'll look at the answers in just a moment's time. So let's look at the answers. The first one, 13 divided by 3. If I shared 13 into 3 groups, I get 4 in each group, and I get 1 left over, because that 1 left over, I can't put it into any of these groups and keep them equal. So 13 divided by 3 is equal to 4 remainder 1. For the next one, 13 divided by 2. This gave me 6 in each group, and again, I had 1 left over, so there's 6 remainder 1. And for my last one, 13 divided by 5 is equal to 2 remainder 3. I had 2 in each group, and I had 3 left over. I can't share these 3 out equally, because wherever I put them, it's going to make those groups unequal. That's why they are left out here, and that's why they are our remainder. Now, before we go on to our morning fluency, our fluency finisher today, I wanted to share an extra challenge. If you were finding that easy and thought, Mr. Foster, that was so easy, I want to try something else. I've got a bit of a challenge for you. Dora has 13 counters. She arranges her counters into equal groups and has some counters remaining. How could Dora have arranged her counters? You've got to think, how many different groups could Dora have created and still have something left over? Have a think about that one. She's got to make some groups, they've got to be equal, and there's going to be some counters remaining. How did she arrange her counters? There's more than one possible answer. If you want to have a go at that, pause the video here and we'll look at the answer in just a moment. So let's look at that one together. You could have done 6 groups of 2 and 1 left over. So you can see my 6 groups of 2, and there is the 1 left over, making 13. Or 13 divided by 2 is 6 remainder 1. We could have done 4 groups of 3 with 1 remainder. 13 divided by 3 equals 4 remainder 1. We could have done 3 groups of 4 with 1 remainder. 13 divided by 4 is 3 remainder 1. So well done if you managed to get some of those. And there was one more. You could have done 2 groups of 5 and 3 remainder. And in fact, one other, 2 groups of 6 and 1 remainder. So well done if you managed to get all of those possible answers. Now, just to finish, let's look at our fluency question. 244 plus 436. Now, I've already laid it out like a column method. As always, pause the video to have a go at that, and then we'll do it in a moment together. So I know that 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. Now I can't write 10 in my ones column. That would be too many ones. So what do I do with some of those ones? What we need to do is we need to regroup all of those ones into one extra 10. So I'm going to put my extra 10 down there, and I'm going to put 0 in here, because if I take all of my ones away, there'll be 0 left in there. Now my 10s, I have 4 plus 3 plus 1 extra. 4 plus 3 makes 7, plus 1 more makes 8. So there are 8 in the 10s column. And lastly, 2 plus 4, that simply makes 6. There's nothing else to add because there was no regrouping from the last one. So my answer is 680. Well done if you had a go at those questions today, and well done if you managed to do some division with remainders. I know it can be quite a tricky thing, but I think and I hope that we all managed to access some of that today. Thank you for joining Year 3, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.